Okay.
All right. Okay. Uh, right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi yasir wa la tu'asir. Rabbi tamim bil khair. Allahumma aftah alaina hikmataka wa anshur alaina min hazaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. My name is Raja Iskandar Putra bin Raja Mustafa. I'll be the moderator for today's webinar on digital research search and effective approach. And on behalf of the Postgraduate Office, I would like to extend a warm welcome to everyone who took their time to join in our final webinar. If I'm not mistaken, this is the final webinar for this current semester. I think we'll wait for the rest to slowly come in. No worries about that. So today's webinar will be shared by our esteemed speaker, Dr. Muhammad Aliff Asyraff bin Kamal Nurzaman, a senior lecturer from the Department of Tourism Management. He's also a part of the research and industry linkage team, where he is the industry network, alumni and community coordinator. Research-wise, Dr. Aliff has an interest in information sources, destination image, risks and resiliencies, and behavioral intentions within the scope of travel and tourism. Dr. Aliff was also involved in numerous research publications, such as the influence of Instagram influencers, source credibility towards domestic travel intention. We have the intensity of travel risk perception and destination decision, exploring user acceptance, experience, and satisfaction towards chatbots in an online travel agency or OTAs. Inshallah, we are in a great hands for today's session. So allow me to do a bit of a housekeeping. I would request everyone in attendance to mute your mic to ensure a smooth flow for today's webinar and also as a courtesy to our esteemed speaker. Q&As will be held at the end of the session. Questions can be posted in the chat box, so you are invited to post your question in the chat box. Now, the process will be we wait to the end of the session, and I'll read out the questions asked in the chat box first, and then we'll proceed to open the floor to any participants who would like to ask questions directly to Dr. Aliff. Inshallah, if prompted and permitted by Dr. Aliff himself, the presentation slides will be made available by the postgraduate office and shared in the WhatsApp groups. The webinar is scheduled to be from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. We'll try to keep it within the time frame. And if Dr. Aliff don't mind, I'll notify you within 5 minutes to time. I think I'll use the like button here if you can see it. Okay, if you have used the heart, it will be too much, I think. Okay, all right. Okay, lastly, we'll have a group photo session right at the end of the at the end of the session. Okay, so without further ado, the floor is yours, Dr. Aliff.
All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to everyone. Of course, first and foremost, thank you to the moderator, Encik Yang Mulia, Raja Iskandar Putra bin Raja Mustafa, the president of Postgraduate Society of FPHP. Right, I think it's quite overwhelmed introduction. So basically, I just knew a baby to this research world. Yeah, I just graduated my PhD last year in September. All right, so this is more or less when the KPPS office has invited me last week. This is more or less like a sharing session with my limited knowledge, and also I can share from throughout my PhD journey. All right. Okay, let me share the screen. Right, can you see my screen?
Yes, Doctor.
Is that it, All right. Okay. Yeah, I was told that I need to give a talk about digital desktop research or search, an effective approach. All right. So let's move to the first slide. All right. Okay. As a student or as a researcher, this is the basic tips, and you must know. You must know your research well. You must know your research well versely. All right. Of course, at initial stage of your PhD, I think similarly like me, it's like a beating around the bushes, or it's quite blur. Yeah. Because if you ask my supervisor, we can change the title or the topic like 4 times. Yeah. But then again, we must focus and we must know very well our study area or topic. Like Mr. Raji just mentioned just now, my study is about social media user-generated content, right? So we must know very well about that, right? And from the topic, you also must know on the underpinning theory or theoretical model use. Yeah, um, to do your research, you actually must know your underpinning theory to support your statement, to support your research, to support your hypothesis. All right, and of course, normally underpinning theory has been introduced by previous scholars long years ago. All right, but then again, as I think because of the research also evolved from times to time, from years to years, it keep expanding. All right. And from the underpinning theory or theoretical model that you use, you might also identify your variable use. Yeah. For quantitative research, of course, yeah, you must know your independent variable, your dependent variable, or moderating or mediating variable if you have. All right. And from all these, I would say the elements, yeah, you can actually extract your keywords, yeah, keywords or terms that you might use for your thesis or research article that you want to publish. And I would say we talk about keywords or terms, it's like a 5 or 6 keywords. And most, the keyword basically is the most word that you write or use in your thesis or your articles. All right, so what is a desktop search or research? Digital desktop research refers to the process of conducting research using digital resources and tools from the comfort of one desktop computer or laptop. So once you sit down in front of your computer or from your desktop or laptop, yeah, you browse in any particular search engines, research search engine or any research database, yeah, we call it as a desktop search. And of course, it involves utilizing various online database like search engine, electronic journals, and other digital sources to gather information and data for research purposes, which I will show you later on. There are few platforms that you might use. All right, why desktop research or search? Yeah, digital desktop research has become increasingly popular. I won't say that is popular right now or recently. Yeah, I think it's long time ago. But then again, um, um, as the technology evolve, yeah, especially in terms of internet connections, yeah, now we have 5Gs. You can actually access any online platform easily, yeah, and anytime, anywhere, right, with abundance of digital information available on any platforms. And researchers can access a wide range of sources, including scholarly articles, book reports, website, and multimedia content without the need for physical access to libraries or other physical repositories. So here actually will give you more convenience, yeah, without going to any physical libraries or repositories. Okay, how to do the desktop search or research? All right, the process typically involves formatting research question or objective. Like I mentioned just now, you must know very well your research area or topic, and from there you extract the keywords you will use later on to find any journals or any journal articles. All right, and of course, researchers can refine their searches using advanced search techniques such as Boolean operators, filters, and advanced search, which I will show you later on as well. We will do like a hands-on activity later. All right, the benefits that you might get or obtain, besides you can actually access anytime or anywhere, is actually to get relevant result. It will benefit you in terms of filter down or actually refine your result, suit with your study area. And of course, when you actually reduce the findings, and it also save time consuming. Yeah, they will discard irrelevant information, searching as it focus only on your study area. All right, what to search? All right, these are all the I would say documents or contents and that you can actually find out in any search engines or database. Right, the first one is a journal articles, is scholarly, I would say published by researchers. All right, and you can get it from any journals website or any search database website. All right, and then books. Okay, it's not only a printed book. Nowadays, you can actually from any digital platform, you can get it, the e-books, right? Like myself, I can get consumer behavior or travel behavior book, and then reports. And for reports, basically, it is my suggestion, you need to get the, I would say, valid or reliable reports. It could be from any ministry. Like myself, normally I referring to the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, from Tourism Malaysia, the DMOs, the DMO, and also it could be from any government agencies like Department of Statistics Malaysia. Right, so reports, then newspapers and magazines. All right, this is another option, right? If you can't get any source, any document or any article that related with your study, yeah, this is another option. Newspapers and magazine which produce periodically, yeah, probably every day and also monthly, right? And of course, this is also very helpful if you want to see another perspective, especially in terms of practical and industrial elements, right? And then bibliographies, encyclopedias, including Wikipedia, abstract, and then proceedings. And then another thing is citations. Of course, this is another thing when actually at the initial stage, I face difficulties to get the citation, how to make a citation, right? I need to see the APA 7 format and so on. So from from the journals, we can see the proper way how to cite or how to get the citations. All right, where to find the sources? All right, there are three aspects or three sources that you can actually consider or use. The first one is research database, which in this presentation I only focus on the search engines and also research database that involve journals and so on, and academic publisher, and then institutional library, right? So here in my presentation, I only focus on the UiTM library, and then other online sources like report and newspaper. Okay, now we move to the first one, research digital database. All right. Of course, the easiest and the fastest way, this is what I did using the Google Scholar. All right. And but then again, we have also another example like Semantic Scholar and also Base. All right. Later on, I will show you how actually we can use certain strategy to actually to filter down and to refine our contents or our documents in Google Scholar. And then another thing is academic research database, databases. For example, like from the academic publisher like Sage, ProQuest, and then from Taylor and Francis from Wiley, and then journal database from Elsevier and so on, Web of Science. All right, secondly is about search engine. So this is a search strategy. Okay, like I mentioned just now, maybe I will explain this strategy first, then I will show you guys how I made it in the Google Scholar. All right, the first one, use popular keywords. For example, maybe in my study, it's about social media or destination image or behavior intentions. But then again, try to ignore or do not use any, we call it as a article words like and, or the. right? So there will be more specifier, right? And then custom range of years. So in Google Scholar as well, it will allow you to custom or set the range of years. Of course, when you ask me, I will focus on the recent studies that been conducted in my study area, probably like 5 years, all right? And then Boolean operators, this is where actually you use the capital letter of and, or, and also not, not to filter down your search. And then you might also use the quotation mark, yeah, the quotation mark to filter down as well. And also the last one is advanced search that we have in the Google Scholar at the left side. All right. Okay, I think let me show you guys first. All right, here is the Google Scholar. Can you see my screen right now?
Yeah, you can.
All right. So let's say if my keyword will be tourism destination image, tourism destination image. Right. So from here, I think I do not set yet the range of years. So we can see from here is about 914,000 results appeared, right? In Google Scholar, right? So let's say if you want to filter down, we can also use the quotation mark, yeah, quotation mark. So from something, then we filter down to 7,870 results, yeah, appeared. And you also can use the Boolean strategy, which is, for example, like tourism destination image and travel destination image. Right, so it appear like 712,000, right? Any particular related articles with your research area, all right? Okay, let's say if you want to exclude travel destination image, all right? So you use not, yeah, the capital letter of not, all right? So from there, I can show you that 695,000 results, all right? Or you want to use, to see or to filter either one, right? Tourism destination image or travel destination image, you can use or, right? So from there, you can see that there are different results appeared, 883,000 results, right? So another thing is about the range of year. So from here, you actually custom range the years. Let's say if you want to see from 5 years and onwards, like 2019 until 2023, all right? So it shows you that about 16,900 results will be appeared, study that published by journals and by the academic publisher from 2019 until 2023. All right. Another thing is you can use also the advanced search. So if you can see the far left side of Google Scholar here, there are 3 lines. Okay, you click advanced search. Okay, so it will appear like this. All right. So for example, you want to focus or use the destination image as well. Yeah, travel destination image. All right. Sorry. And we write down here. And yeah, probably you know there are certain authors that always publish about this subject. All right. Let's say for example like Baloglu. So, this is one of the well-known, I would say, researchers, what's called researcher on tourism destination image, and written article published, for example, like in Journal of Travel Research. So I try to delete the date, for example, because you want to only focus on specific author and also specific journal. All right. So we search here. All right. So from here we can see that there are 9 results appeared on tourism destination image, which published by the author. I mean, which the author is the Baloglu, Seamus Baloglu, on this particular journal, Journal of Travel Research. So from here you can see that from 1997, all right, onwards. Okay, then let's continue the slide. Right, now we move to another option, which is UITM e-library. Right, I think because of I'm not a librarian, but then again, I have an access to UITM library. If you are, I mean, you are a student here or you are a staff or a lecturer here, you can actually access to UITM e-library. So let's say click here. All right, so this is the website for the e-resources online database Pustakaan Tun Abdul Razak of UITM. From here, you can actually select online database, for example, and then by subject. For myself, probably I will choose like hospitality and tourism. Okay, and yeah, there are a few research database that you can actually browse or you can actually access. Yeah, for example, maybe I would choose Science Direct, right? So from here, you need to insert your staff ID and here your IC number. For foreign student might be use your passport number. All right. So now it's appeared the Science Direct website or interface. All right. Let's say if you want to see the tourism destination image. All right. And yeah, I don't think that I will put or insert any journals or authors. Just do like this and then try to find out. All right. So from here, it's appear like 13,466 results. Yeah. And you can actually refine or filter down by years here. All right. And you also can actually refine based on the types of articles. Yeah. For example, like research article. And then any publication, any journal, let's say tourism management, and then any particular area, right? Like I think you can choose more than one actually. Yeah. Now like business and management, accounting, right? So they will actually filter down, right, to 57 results. All right. So there is another thing. Actually, from UITM. Normally, once the PhD student graduated, they have actually submitted their PhD thesis. So there is another way you can actually find out their thesis, yeah, through this website. All right. Okay. So if you go to the Puncak Alam Library, for example, then you click here, the UITM, University Technology Mara Institutional Repository. All right. So let's say if you want to, like my study is about user generated content. All right. And yeah, I will click here thesis. Okay. And I just click enter. So it will be appeared here. So from here, you can see there are 3 results, including my study. Okay. So you can download here the paper. Right. Okay. There is another thing. This is one of the, I would say, not a tip, but then again, is advisable for researchers, for students. Refer to valid research literature sources. All right. For example, like from leading journals, hopefully, I mean, it is good that you can actually refer to any Scopus or JCR quarter 1 and quarter 4 until quarter 4, or ABDC journalists, which from the Australian Business Dean Council list. All right. You can actually check from Scopus. Let's say if I click here. Right. So here from Simago, you can scroll down here. You can see journals, the list of journals from Q1 until Q4. All right. This is about their ranking. Right. It is good that if you can actually refer to Q1 until Q4 journal articles. All right. And another thing is try to avoid predatory journals, yeah, to refer, for example, like MDPI, Frontiers, or Hindawi, right? So it's not only prohibited for, I mean, for researchers or for lecturers to publish and pay certain large amount of money to these predatory journals. All right. In fact, it's, I think I will show you the letter that issued by the DG of Higher Education. All right. Yesterday. It's about larangan menggunakan dana kerajaan untuk menerbitkan dalam 3 penerbit antarabangsa. So here, basically, our higher education ministry also actually prohibited us to publish any predatory journals, for example, like MDPI, Frontiers, and Hindawi. All right. And another thing is latest research articles, 5 years onwards. All right, so this is another thing. It is advisable for you to find or to get the recent articles at least 5 years onwards. For me, I think is it more good if you can actually get from 3 years onwards, because especially like tourism industry, once COVID hit us, it actually changed the whole scenario of tourism industry. Unless you want to see any comparison data or research, from prior COVID and also post COVID-19, right? And then use other journal articles to find other articles. Right, this is what I did during my PhD. All right, this is another way, another tip that you can actually use as well. All right, once you refer to any journal article that has high rank in Scopus or JCR or BDC, you actually can find out other sources or other articles through their citations and also references, right? Because all the papers that they're referring to as well actually more or less have a similar study area. And then about the communicate with authors if unable to obtain full paper online. All right, somehow you might actually cannot access to any journals or any database. So this is another option, or this is another initiative that you can do actually to communicate with authors, like email them, right? Ask their permission to obtain the full paper online. And lastly is about identify scholars, researchers, authors in similar area. So this is like I do it just now, right? If you know there are certain scholars or researchers that keep doing their study in that particular or specific area, that will be good, right? Like Seamus Bolot Lu or Kim, something like that in my particular area. I think that's all from me. All right. This is my contact number. All right.
Okay. All right.
Stop sharing.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ali, for that actually very helpful sharing session in terms of searching for literature, because I believe everyone here has at one point or another has problems with finding literature or being overwhelmed by literature, and you've shown us effective or efficient ways into then narrowing down the literature to what you really want, such as using the Boolean operators and using your quotation marks, and it's a great strategy for us as researchers to try to get the best literature for our studies or for our research. So if you allow us, if you allow me, let's move on to the questions. I see that we have one question from Datin Putri Julie here.
Okay.
So we have here, if her study is on the impact of venue in hospitality training, what should she type or what should she search, in your opinion?
All right. Thank you, Raja. Thank you, Datin. All right. From here, I can see that your study basically is about the venue in conducting hospitality training. So probably you will use any words like hospitality training venue. Yeah. Uh, is it related with event or what? If let's say if
No, actually, it's just a venue in course design in any hospitality training. The
Mhm.
case study initially was on Penjana punya training, but now I'm
Um,
moving it on to just hospitality training per se.
I see. So I think the best keywords here is actually hospital training venue. But then again, if you want to filter down, yeah, you can actually yeah, you want to focus on certain area, for example, like hospitality training venue, and then hospitality training venue in Malaysia, for example, or hospitality training venue in Asia.
If, for example, I want to concentrate on soft skills training in hospitality, so do I have to type out the word soft skills juga at the same time?
Yes,
Also,
yes. That will be another. I think there will be involved two different variables, right?
mm-mm.
Uh, if you want to try to get, I would say papers that related with those variables, yeah, you can type these two variable
Masuk
or words.
jugalah.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Dr.
Atin.
Hafiz, how are you?
My
Thank you.
supervisor.
Okay, I see that maybe people are still warming up, trying to figure out what kind of question to ask. I'm going to open the floor to anyone here if you like to ask directly a question to Dr. Aliff. But first, I think I'll ask, if I may ask myself a question. Uh, just now you mentioned about this is it's slightly a general knowledge for people. Right? When is it appropriate or acceptable to cite references that are far beyond than 5 years?
When? Sorry.
When is it appropriate or acceptable for us as researchers to cite references from like 1980s, 1970s?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Raja. All right. If you want to cite any, I mean, it's like a we call it obsolete citation or obsolete sources or articles. For example, like myself, Baloglu and McCleary in 1999, right? It's actually more appropriate or suit with for theory purposes to support at the initial stage. For example, you want to talk about destination image, so you can use that site, I mean, the citation or the source or the articles to open that part first, maybe in terms of definition and so on.
Yeah, because usually we fall into the trap of like if you're a novice researcher, then people will say that, oh, we only use 5 years, but there can be workarounds. Try to get the further down, because you can't come up with new theories, right? People use theories like you said just now, the underpinning theories. It will be probably from further down the line, and okay, Dr. Hafiz, do you have any questions? You seem like you want to ask any question.
I think he can answering the question better.
Yeah, I actually told him that I already have 10 questions to ask.
Wow. Okay.
After this.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. I would like to chip in. Is it possible, moderator?
I think it's
Please.
okay if Dr. Alif don't mind.
Yeah.
We're okay.
Yes, by pleasure.
Okay, thank you. So I think what Dr. Ali presented is actually the basic skills to search for literature. But then again, I nak pinpoint one of Dr. Aliff punya slide, which is talks about quality than quantity. Um, there's some sort like old school of thought that having more citations, having more references, reflects that your study are complex, which actually could, I mean, to showcase that you have done a lot of systematic review of those things. But then again, in the modern way of doing research, quantity is much appreciated rather than quality. And as we moving towards first world countries, we have to behave like one. Yeah, if we're talking about if you are a researcher of a first world countries, we shall what we say mirror what other first world countries researchers are doing. And these researchers, actually, this modern world, atau also the first world researchers, they actually only read good journals, good articles, and most of them, if you're doing talking about marketing, this is this ABDC journals, Scopus, JCR journal citation, WOS journals, and this is actually a very good what we say destination for literature review, because first of all, the reason being is that these journals are highly recognized. The reason because why they are highly recognized is their papers, their research that have been published has been thoroughly reviewed. Meaning that first, the quality is there, and definitely for journal editor, their main focus is to get citation. And in order to get citation, they need to publish good papers, recent issues that reflect the modern world. So this is actually a very good place for you to start diving into this literature review. But then again, I'm not saying that papers or sources, other papers that we publish in non-index journals is not good. You know, that could be some sort of like a complementary readings, and in which if it's what's it, if it's fit with your write up, your argument, then you could cite them. Frankly speaking, I think Rajesh Kanda is currently doing his PhD. You know, you guys, how many people that we have here today? We have around
48
40.
participants,
Oh,
yeah.
that's good. So, I mean, if you talk about while I'm doing my papers, I don't have online. Then there's limited online sources. Then I have to go to library. So very limited. And right now we have online, and perhaps during COVID-19 there is some sort of like a shock wave where the numbers of systematic literature review papers being published around the world on issues, on topics, on variables, there are abundant numbers of SLR, and that actually could help you guys. And if you look on this SLR, and whenever this SLR paper was published in good journals, most of the time, if you look at the method, they will only review papers coming from Scopus or JCR. So yeah, I would like to conclude my proposition today. At the end of the day, the reason why you do research is to learn something and to disseminate that knowledge to others. And in order to disseminate the knowledge to the right population, to the quality population, you need to cite good papers. And by doing that, you are able to publish your paper in good journals, and therefore your knowledge that you want to disseminate uh, able to be read by this group of people. So yeah, I have to say that what the topic that we proposed today is actually the most pertinent skills that everyone, not only for young researcher, even for people like me, we have to learn and relearn the literature searching skills, because things are changing. And good job, KPPS and also the Persatuan lah. I still can remember your Persatuan punya nama, but your society too. Actually, I think this is a very good topic for not only first year but also for seasoned researchers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hafiz. I think that's a great, great input by Dr. Hafiz. Because I second whatever he said. In research, you need to find quality papers, and also talking about SLR, it's actually if you meet and if you see an SLR, it's like a treasure trove. It's like you can get a lot from SLR. You can get can snowball into some other things. So I think everyone here could look up for SLRs in their studies. Okay, I believe because we have Dr. Hafiz here, so the aura has lifted up the mood here. So we have a few questions here in the chat box here. From one question from Shaidatul here: is it compulsory to have theory in research?
All right. Okay. Thank you, Shadato. All right. If you ask me personally, I would say it's compulsory. Yeah, to have theory, to support your literature, to support your study, and your research. And of course, if you talk about publication, you want to publish in certain, high-ranked journals. Yeah, nobody will ask what is the theory that you use or adapted or adopted. All right.
All right. We have another question, but I think this question by Nurul Hasana has been answered by Dr. Aliff just now, talking about the papers down the road, 5 years above. All right. Do you have anyone who would like to ask Dr. Aliff any questions while he's here? He can provide his expertise.
And I think I want to add some info.
Go ahead.
Echo what been mentioned by Dr. Hafiz just now, Prof. Hafiz just now on the SLR. Yeah? So SLR, the systematic literature, I think it will give you very benefit and will give you, sort of insight on what have been done previously by researchers in your particular area. Right, so from there you can actually see the loophole. What are the other things that you can actually explore, right? Because I think Dr. Hafiz also have done several SLR papers, right? And it's a very good. I mean, it is very good to have a SLR paper because I think it will cite by so many people.
All right. Any question?
Sorry, Rajesh Kanda, perhaps I would like to ask a question.
Okay.
Maybe Dr. Aliff, I would like to ask a question. I mean, you have gone through the process, and I think, for some people, that's it, but then again, you ITM or even when you want to, if you are a lecturer, you were asked to do research after you do PhD, and could you share? Because even though we work together closely, but I would like to know, from your own perspective, what are the issues? When you do this literature searching, what are the problem or issues, limitation that you found, even though with all these tools, tips, and everything?
All right, thank you, Prof. Hafiz. Okay, it's quite, I think, it's a good or an interesting question. All right, I think if you ask me, if somebody which do not have any background in that particular area, probably they will find another difficulties whereby they don't know the jargon, the words that probably use. Yeah, for example, like if you want to see, if I say that like destination image, my other people do not know what is the or user generated content. There are certain people do not know. All right, and another issue is this is what I found. Yeah, at my PhD journey and during my PhD journey, I actually just focus on certain journals that related with tourism and hospitality. But then again, there is other journals, that publish somehow in the same area, but then probably at a different perspective. For example, like you want to talk with like I cite one paper, Kim et al. It's about Instagram information quality, right? But then published in information and technology journals. It's not related with tourism and hospitality. So my advice is actually try to explore more, all right? Rather than you just actually focus on one particular, I would say one particular area like tourism and hospitality. Hopefully that will satisfy Dr. Hafiz.
Okay, I agree with that. We cannot start with a narrow view of research. You know, it will trap you will only trap yourself in terms of trying to find the right kind of literature. So, even though we're talking about narrowing down or filtering down the information here today, but we must start in a broader scope. And also keep an eye on other fields that might have something to do, maybe a bit something to do with your research.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe there's no more questions. For Nat or for Mas, maybe we can go ahead with the.
Oh, I have
Oh,
I have
more
question.
question. More question. Okay. Maybe
Yeah,
one more question.
Please
for-
remove Dr. Hafiz.
no, perhaps
One more question
we
before
we,
Dr.
uh, we we can ask the same question to you, Rajesh,
Ah,
and even to the students. I mean, perhaps we can try to what we say discuss what are the problems that they face, and perhaps from this actually discussion, the faculty could assist them on what the actual training or even information that they need. You know, there's a lot of available resources, but perhaps limitation of awareness, you know. So perhaps we can start with Rajesh Kanda. I mean, you have done your proposal defense, you know, and definitely you have to reread and rearrange or include new citation. Based on your experience, very fresh experience. Aku dah jadi moderator, eh. So what is your problem?
I mean, in my experience, in my opinion, what I face is that exactly what Dr. Aliff mentioned just now. You're thinking about, keeping a broader mind, keeping it open, and because I find myself going down this rabbit hole of from narrow become more narrow and narrower. So you until you find out into it is just one small one small side of what you're supposed to research on. So yeah, you can talk to this is where your supervisors, this is where your colleagues that are doing research, you can talk to them, and maybe they can give you a fresh perspective. Like today we can hear from Dr. Aliff and Dr. Hafiz also. Can hear a lot of more perspective than what I have. So that might open your mind. I think that is what maybe one of the things that I face during my period of searching for literature. But I second what you said, Dr. Hafiz. Maybe we need to have some sort of training needs analysis to find out what the postgraduates really need in terms of training for further webinars, and we might invite you, Dr. Hafiz, to share your experience here.
all right. Yeah, I think another thing that I want to share here, is about the I mean, we prepared, and normally me and Dr. Hafizah as my supervisor, we always do research together, yeah. And in fact, he will be the main supervisor, then I'll be the second supervisor. All right. So if you can see here, so this will be very helpful to to the researcher, especially at the initial stage. Yeah, once you, read about, you know, I mean, articles with regards to your study, you can actually jot down here and write something. So from there, you can actually expand your study, right? So from here, you can see that you have to put the year, which year that they are published in particular publisher, and then volume, issues, and the authors. So from here, you can see the trend, who are actually the authors that normally do or did in your particular area, and then the title. The title also is very important, is, and more or less you actually can, this is another tip, you can actually copy and also adapt it from them. All right, and the scope of study. All right, so from there you can find out their research objective. All right, research issues. Okay, this is about the problem statements, probably in terms of not only contextual but also in terms of the research gap, theoretical gap. All right, and then the LR, the literature review. What are the variable used? So here actually want to see how actually they develop the hypothesis. All right, and what are the theory that they use or adapted from. Like myself, I use the 1974 Merabit and Russell on the stimulus organism response model. All right, and then what are or what is the dependent variable, and then what are the independent variables. All right, the method, is it quanti or qualitative data or mixed method, and then the study population. All right, is it foreign travelers or foreign tourists or domestic tourists, probably the event goers. All right, and then the unit of analysis, the very specific one in terms of, from the population. All right, for example, you can actually, specific, be more specific. For example, like my study, I just focus on the foreign travelers who are age of 18 years and above and have experienced the social media usage of the content, all right, and also have experience travel to Malaysia, right? So that will be your very specific unit of analysis, all right? So this is the whether they quanti or quali, and then the sampling method, right? Whether they use the purposive or convenience sampling and so on, non-probability or probability sampling, and then the data analysis, what kind of analysis that they use. For example, like if we talk about, I think normally for quantitative now we use PLS SEM, for probably for quali, Atlas or NVivo, and then the results from the analysis, and then the findings. So from findings you can actually support or reject by referring to your literature review that you do just now. All right, so from there you can actually support or reject your hypothesis, and then you can come up with your conclusion. Right, from there you can during the journey, the PhD journey, you can see the limitation, what have you covered, what have you done covered, you not covered, right? And then your future study, the recommendation for future study, right? Anything that you did not cover, you probably can actually suggest to other people or to other researchers, and then theoretical implications and also practical implication. So this is about the significance of the studies. Hopefully, I think this one also I can share with you guys later on, and hopefully it will be very beneficial for you.
All right, Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Doctor. It's a great tool actually for us researchers to have that matrix. Any more question? I think it's already 3:54. I think Puan Mas, are you available to take the pictures? But in the meantime, I would like to ask everyone to switch on your cameras so that we can, get this session, Okay, one of the participants would like to have the slides later on. So I think Dr. Aliff will pass it to the postgrad office.
All right, sure.
Puan Mas, are you there, Puan Mas?
Ada.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Everyone, switch on your cameras, please. We would like to see your beautiful faces.
Okay ke?
All right, I think we're good.
Okay. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you semua. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone. Don't forget to fill in the evaluation form in the chat box. I would like to extend great thanks to Dr.